Good morning, everybody. Lee Brower here, and welcome to this week's edition of Meaningful Monday. I am grateful to be here, and I am glad to be here. Mama knows best. I haven't had a conversation with my mom since she passed away on January 4th of 2015. But let me tell you what led up to the conversation I had with her just recently. Several years ago, we had the opportunity to interview Coach John Wooden, a dear friend, mentor. Got to spend about 4.5 hours with him, with the cameras running. Had a great friend, background in script to screen, worked there. He was a soccer coach from Major University, and he came in with his crew to film John Wooden as I asked him a series of questions. Asked him about his faith, asked him about his love that he has for Nellie, who had passed away previously. And his nose gets bright red when he starts talking about Nellie. About education, messages he wanted to leave his grandkids. We packaged it all up and we gave it to his children and grandchildren. I've had many companies approach me trying to get their hands on it, but no, this is for them and their family. But as a result of that, I went and filmed my mom and my dad and asked them all of these questions. Well, I hadn't looked at them since several years before they passed away. And this has been over 20 years ago that I did the videos. My mom passed away, as I said, in 2015. And so I kept, do I have enough courage? Do I want to look at it? And I finally pulled it out and turned it on and started watching. What a treasure. What a treasure. There's one spot in particular that came serendipitously. I know where she had just been. Let me describe my mom to you first. I hope to put a picture of her in here so you can get an idea of her. I would say if you could take best of Mother Teresa and the best of Lucille Ball and put them together, that would be my mom. Wild and crazy, but extremely compassionate. Right before I was videoing her, she had just returned from an old folks home where she had been in there giving them all hugs. And so anyway, as we were talking, she was joyous and her frivolous and sometimes just calm down, Mom, just talk to me. And she stopped and she talked to me. And she said, you know, Lee, people are lonely. They're so lonely, especially older people, and they never get touched. And she says, I think my purpose is to touch people, to give them hugs. And she was known as the hugging grandma. She knew her purpose. How special was that for me? How special was that for me to listen to that? And it was funny, I was talking to my colleague who I've worked with for over 25 years, dear friend and partner in the business, really, Dave Sheffield. And we were out golfing and I said, you remember my mom? He goes, oh yeah, how could I forget? I said, did she ever give you a hug? Oh yeah, he said, in fact, a kiss right on the neck. And she was known as the hugging, kissing grandma. If you said you knew me, you got a big hug and probably a kiss on the neck. And that's the way she was. That was her purpose. How grateful I am for that experience. And now I'm thinking, why haven't I done the same thing for my kids? Should I be doing that on a regular, maybe even chapter-wise periodically? I wrote something 20 some odd years ago, but it's time for me to start sharing with my children for right directly to them and my grandchildren. We just had our 18th grandchild just last Wednesday. 18th. Wow, what a responsibility. You know, and I want them to know me. I wish, and I have this, that they can know my mom and my dad, because I did it. I did sit down and took the time to video them. And Jimmy, bless his heart, got his grandma that was in her 90s, and she was vibrant and excited, but he got a picture. He did a video and interviewed her, and he got a call late that night that she had passed away. Now that's timing. How about you? Jimmy's now gone out with a good friend. They formed a company called Parable. And if you go in and look it up, I'll post the website in here. I think it's Discover or Experience Parable. I think experienceparable.com. I'll post it in here. But they are now doing that as a profession, professionally done, And then they can do chapters and come back and do more as you go on. But everybody should at least do their parents, if not themselves. And so I'm just grateful for that opportunity that after these many years, I felt like I was sitting down and having a conversation with my mother, who delivered a very important message to me. People need hugs. They need to be loved. They need to be touched. How about you? What's your purpose? Have a meaningful week. I look forward to talking to you next week. Bye-bye.